Wow, it's my opening state would be Andrew, you're letting that hair and that flow go, man. I like it. Country western singer look going. I like it. So I'm good. Let's go. I'm ready.
Hey Bob, all you.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
I'm good.
I think the last time we talked to you, you weren't able to talk about the portal guys, the transfers, and now you can. Heck, it's easy to say some of these guys' schools are their names for me, but you got guys in, from Vandy and I guess BYU and Ohio State and some other places. I know you haven't started practice yet, but how do you feel like those guys are fitting in, and kind of what are your expectations? How do you feel about that portal group overall?
Well, first off, I appreciate those guys, coming to Arkansas because they all had many, many options. And there's a lot involved when you're talking about the transfer portal. Not only do they need to, the players need to pick the right school that, really is in need of those positions. But, there's finances involved. And in many cases here, these guys, they came here and they could have made more money other places, and feel very fortunate that they really evaluated their situation as far as development and just what we have to offer here. And they're going to make a big impact on our team. That's what I see so far. Not really naming names. I mean, we feel like that we plugged in some depth, some holes. Got a couple of experienced starting pitchers to mix in with our really good staff. Position player wise, we brought in a couple infielders and a couple outfielders, maybe three outfielders, and it's so far so good. But we got to go out and practice and put them in game situations, and we don't expect it to be over the top good, but guys got to continue to get better. We're excited to see what we've got.
I guess Jimenez, hopefully I'm saying his name right. Where all do you see him playing?
So you're talking about our pitcher?
Um, I'm sorry, I meant the guy from Vandy, Cozell. Am I?
Yeah, Cozell, he's a second baseman. Swings the bat, left-handed hitter, really strong. Was in and out of the lineup as a freshman. It's hard to do at this level. I see him being a second baseman, and I see him playing a lot. He's got a lot of competition, but things always have to be earned everywhere you go. So he's an infielder, and he can also play outfield. Obviously, he can DH, and those are some things he did at Vanderbilt.
Would him and Souza compete at second, or was there maybe a possibility to move Souza to first or something, or third, or?
I think you just said everything that could happen. Souza can move to the outfield. He could play second base. Souza can play shortstop. Souza can play third. Really gifted. Made a jump too. You can see it from our first couple of weeks of, skill work. Really, really playing well right now. It's fun to watch him.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Hutch.
Yeah, Dave, another one of those transfers you brought in was Aloy's brother from BYU. I know he was mostly a DH out there. I think he played a little bit of first, also listed as an outfielder. Kind of where do you project him playing for y'all?
Well, we're going to work him out at first. DH spot is always that possibility. Little different body style than his older brother. Is just thicker, really strong. If you go off of, some of the metrics we've been keeping an eye on, I mean, his exit velocity is the best on the team consistently right now. He hits it hard. I think he might have hit right in the middle of the order for BYU, hit some home runs, 6 or 7, maybe more. Thing was BYU recruited him as a pitcher, number one, and he didn't hit all fall. And went home and they said, we might need you to hit next spring, and something along that line. Came back in the spring. They said, yeah, we need you to hit. So he took a lot of time off from hitting and still cracked the lineup. What he is he's got power, and he's got power everywhere. It's right field, center field, left field. we'll see how that works out, but he's still young. He's only a sophomore. And the exciting thing about Cozile, you know, and some of these guys, they're young, you know, they have 2 years with us at a minimum. So excited to see how it turns out.
And you mentioned bringing in a couple of starters. You got Root, and then you also have Landon Beetleshees. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name.
I just call him Landon.
That's a good call. I'm curious, like, you know, those are two elite, you know, guys out of transfer portal starting pitchers. You only got 3 spots in the weekend rotation. You had a bunch of guys coming back from last year's staff. Just how do you convince, you know, multiple guys like that to come in and pitch for y'all?
Well, they want to pitch for Coach Hobbs. They like what they've seen from the development of our younger pitchers, or maybe even a guy like Smith who turned down maybe $1 million out of high school and got $8 million. So appreciate those guys because they have some options, many options. Could have gone to our league. We would have had to try to beat them. And, you know, they came in here because they wanted to be a part of the Arkansas program. And like I said, be with Coach Hobbs. And I think they just want to be on a team with a great pitching staff. And I think that's what we foresee.
And one more before I turn it back over. Robinette, one of your guys coming back. You know, how good was it to see him have as productive of a summer as he has? And do you see him more as a third baseman, first baseman, or kind of where do you project him?
I've seen him do both. You know, we work him out at third and first. I think he's really improved at third, played a lot over there in the summer. You know, made the all-star team out there. He had a really rough place to play, though. He's at Martha's Vineyard. You know, it's tough living over there. But other than that, got to give him credit. He just keeps getting better. And he went and played. He hit some home runs. But really excited for him. And, you know, the experience he gained this summer is definitely, you know, it's already paying off. We can see it.
Ellis.
Yeah, Coach, you guys have had a lot of JUCO guys come in and get drafted, have a lot of success. It seems like Brent Iredale is as high up there and highly regarded as any of them. Just how big of a deal was it to get him to campus, and what have your early impressions have been of him?
Yeah, you know, Brent was a guy that, you know, turned down money to come to school here. Obviously, he's put up huge numbers at the junior college level. And, you know, you can say, well, it's junior college, but he still put up the numbers. And he's a good defender. He's a big, strong kid. He's got a lot of power. He can actually really run as well. He's actually, his tools are a little better than I thought they would be. I thought we were looking more of a hitting guy, pretty good fielder. I didn't know he could run like he can. He throws accurate. Yeah, it was, you know, he's one of about 5 guys that we got through that we didn't think we were going to get him, to be honest with you. And, you know, Justin Thomas is one, and, you know, there's a couple more in there, a couple high school guys, and then getting Kendall Diggs back. And all of a sudden it might've got a little crowded, but we got a little better too. So we'll just let them battle it out.
When you think about like your junior class of pitchers, guys like Wood, Fouch, Bybee, and all those guys, they all kind of took a nice little step in their second year. How important is it for your team and just that staff as a whole for those guys to kind of continue that progression and take that next step?
Well, I think they're going to do it. You know, you talk about Gage Wood. Hey, had a great summer. Bybee had a good summer. I think these guys, they, you know, with the competition here, going out and playing summer ball, the experience they've gained as freshmen and sophomores, it just makes you better. Physically, they're in great shape, and you know, they're going to be counted on. We depend on them to be leaders for us, whether it's on the field or off in the weight room. And so far, I like what I've seen from these guys.
Dudley.
It appears Ryder Helfrich had a big summer. Talk about him a little bit and just your catchers overall that you've got in this year.
Yeah, it was fun watching Ryder play this summer. He's tougher than nails, honestly. Very athletic. He can run. Tremendous arm. He's got power. He proved that this summer with a wood bat. I mean, I watched him play 2 games up in the Cape, and both times I went to watch him play, he didn't catch. He just DH'd it in the 3-hole because it was kind of an every other day thing. And I didn't need to see him catch. I know he can catch, but I went and watched some of our other guys as well on those other days. And, you know, he's the front runner, obviously. Like I said, he brings more than just receiving to the game and calling the game. He can really block, can control the running game. He can call pitches and deal with our pitchers. And then on the offensive side, you're getting a guy that made a jump offensively and really started working on some things towards the end of the season and took it into the summer, calmed down his swing a little bit, didn't try to pull everything. And I think he just changed his mindset a little bit, and he had a great summer. It was fun watching him and then following him throughout the summer. And then, we brought in a couple of freshman catchers and then a JUCO catcher that put up huge numbers offensively. That's Elliot Peterson. And then I guess Zane Becker was the guy that we didn't know if he would make it to school. Catchers, high demand, and it's good to see him walk through the door. And then Carson Willis lived here in Northwest Arkansas for a while, and then lived in South Carolina. And getting him here, gave us 2 freshmen, a transfer, and a returner. I think it's a good mix, and just kind of switch those guys out every other scrimmage probably this summer, or excuse me, this fall. But looking back on the summer, those guys, they played, they got better, they got stronger, and now they get to handle these pitchers. And it'll be up to the coaches to really do a good job of developing these young catchers. And hopefully we'll move forward, and we've been so good back there over the years. I don't see that changing.
Appreciate it.
Mason.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering about Behava. He had such a hot offense in the summer. Just what do you think of the way that he really turned things on with the bat?
So got to watch him a couple of times this summer as well. And, he started, if you go back and you watch video of him when he walked in the door, where he had his hands, open stance, big leg kick, this is a guy that hit 350 at Sac State. Didn't see the pitching he saw here, obviously, from the day he walked in here to the time the season was over, facing all the SEC arms and then some really good ones out of league play. And we were talking about just calming it down a little bit. And man, did he make an adjustment this summer from leg kick to, you won't see a whole lot going on there. I watched his batting practice up there the first day up in the Cape, and I got him off to the side, and I videoed it, sent it back. And I said, look to the other coaches, look what's going on here. He's made an adjustment. And at the time he was hitting over 300 and hitting home runs. And I talked to him after BP, and I said, hey, I love what you're doing. He just stayed through the middle, hit line drive after line drive, hit some balls out of the park, dead center, maybe left center, right center. And then in the game, his first at bat, he singles up the middle, then he lined out to short. It was just taking BP to the game and not trying to do too much. And same guy showed up here, last fall, trying to see if he could hit him up there by the picnic benches and BP when they had free rounds. Now it's see if he can ping pong the middle and maybe hit one off the batter's eye and go the other way. It's called hitting, and it's been a great thing so far.
And you guys returned a lot on the pitching staff, but we've talked about some of the guys you added. What does it say about Coach Hobbs as a recruiter? And I guess what have you seen from him as a recruiter?
Well, our philosophy is we got to get the best high school kids in here, and we've done a good job. We've got some really good young arms in here. Things are going to change in the future with rosters and, profit sharing and on and on and on. And we don't probably need to get into all that, but we still feel like the portal is a good thing as far as changing your roster, helping your roster, but you can't live in the portal. So, we don't want to get more than a couple, 3 pitchers every year. We want to have enough younger players in the program that are really good, that we can build off of, build around. And that's what we did this summer. That was our plan. Maybe 3 guys. We were thinking maybe we can get one really good starter with experience. So we brought in a couple, 3. We ended up getting a couple. Give Zach Root some credit. I mean, he sees that we get Landon. He's got offers from every team in the SEC for the most part, and he still comes to Arkansas. We didn't think we would get him once Landon, made his commitment and put it out there, but we really wanted him, and he turned down some things to come here. So what that says about Coach Hobbs, number one, this kids want to pitch for him. Got a great reputation as a recruiter and a coach, and there you go.
And also, are you guys still planning on playing some outside competition this fall?
Yeah, our bye weekend in football, I'm not sure, I don't have dates in front of me, 6th, 7th, 8th of October, whatever that is. Probably see something coming up on that, maybe that Friday night and maybe again on Saturday. We were going to go to Omaha and play in this event up there, us and Nebraska, Oklahoma State, and Creighton at the championship ballpark. And we were all invited, and I think it got too big and they couldn't handle it. And they kind of pulled the plug on it. So as of right now, we're going to bring Oklahoma State over here for a couple of games. And Friday's game might be a normal game, 9 innings. Saturday might be 10, 11, 12 innings, because that'll be maybe the end of our fall. Just play those couple of games instead of playing a red-white series where we always run out of pitching, and I don't know, we haven't finished it the last couple of years, it seems like. So that'd be the plan right now. You can only have 2 outside competitions, and that would be it unless something changes.
Thank you.
Tom.
Hey, Dave, from a big picture perspective, what do you want to see? What do you want to get done this fall? What do you want to come out of fall having accomplished?
Well, it's kind of like the fall of 21. Got a lot of new players, starting as early as we can, honestly. This is the earliest we could start. I mean, I guess we could start today, and we are. So couldn't start yesterday. It's a holiday. So we want to see what we have. It gives us a little more time in the off season, the 45-day window. When that gets over in the middle of October, it gives us a little more time to make some adjustments. Just get our roster right. We've got a roster right at 50, can turn in a roster of 40 when the season starts. Next year it's going to be even smaller than that. So there's a lot of things we want to get accomplished. We need to get our infield lined up. We need to figure out who's going to play in that outfield. We've got it's going to be a battle out there, and there's some guys that can swing a little bit. Got some defensive guys. We brought Davlin in, really athletic, and Logan Maxwell can flat out hit. And, Justin Thomas is an outstanding defender that's got, some experience in the SEC, went off to junior college, put up big numbers. That's just to name a few. And, we need to see them hit our pitching. We want to see about, can these guys run? Can they steal bases? I mean, we've been working a lot on it in the first 2 weeks. I think if you come out to watch us work out, you'll see us doing a few more things than maybe we have in the past, working on trying to score runs and be a threat. And that's one reason we went out and got some guys that could do some things.
Thanks.
Coach and Bob, anything else?
I've got a couple more.
Sure.
You mentioned, I think the last time we talked to you, that Fouch had come home with an injury. Do you have an update on his status?
Yeah, he's good to go. He's good to go. He just tweaked something, not an elbow or a shoulder, just a little pull kind of on his back. So looks like he's good to go. And if we don't throw him this weekend, it's not because we're going to scrimmage a couple of times this weekend, but here it is Tuesday. We're not going to scrimmage till Friday and Saturday. And Friday we'll scrimmage at 3:00. And then Saturday we're going to go early at 9:30. Get as many in as we can before the football game starts.
And then Jimenez, I think he missed this past season with an injury. What do you know what the injury was? And is he healthy? Is he good to go?
Yeah, he won't be good to go this fall. We're wanting him to be good to go in the spring. I mean, he tweaked his elbow, so he had to get that fixed. And he's big, strong. He would have been their number 2 or number 1 pitcher if he would have been healthy. And we're hoping that he can be healthy this year, and we can either use him out of the pen or as a starter, or he's not 100%, we'll get him ready for for next year. But he's a talent.
Does that mean you had Tommy John?
Mhm.
And then one more guy I wanted to ask about was Carson Bowles. You got him from the D2 ranks. I know you mentioned last time, like, hey, if you can hit, you can hit. Just curious what you saw from him and what made you go after him.
Well, basically, he put up incredible numbers. Yeah, it was Division II level. I coached Division II for 1 year, and I had two to three guys on my team that were definitely Division I players, and one of them ended up being the MVP of, Division II baseball. And he had about the same numbers, kind of crazy numbers, and he ended up signing a pro contract. But a lot of doubles, hit some homers, big batting average, swung the bat really well. It's batting practice, it's drill work. Got to take it to the game. I didn't mention him, an outfielder. We got Brendan Clark's a really good freshman outfielder with a good swing. I mean, it's going to be a fight out there. It's going to be, it's just a good mix of left and right-handed hitting. Some with pop, some with more double swings, and just want, before the smoke clears in the spring, just like to have 9 deep that when you go through our lineup, you're going to have to work for outs. And that's what we're really fighting for this fall.
All right, Bob, close it out.
Yeah, Dave, I had maybe off topic about a couple of your major leaguers. Obviously Andrew Benintendi, Dominic Fletcher. I mean, they're in the big leagues. They're getting paid great, all that, but they're playing for the White Sox. And Andrew's probably their best hitter. Just a historically bad team. Do you stay in touch with those guys? And if so, I'm just curious what the interaction's like. You tell me, hey, keep your chin up. You're a major leaguer. Just wonder what your thoughts were on that.
I mean, it's mostly through texting, but I don't give them any of those type of speeches. Like you said, they're big leaguers. It's a job, and they show up. They want to have success. They're playing on a team that doesn't win much, and they're kind of changing some things up. They just, what do? You play. They play 162 games. I think they tied a record for losses in a row this summer. So you got to change a little bit. You got to, be one of the leaders, fight to change the culture a little bit. And I'm sure it'll be an interesting all season for the White Sox.
And Hagan, he might be up there next year. He might be their ace or something. How fast do you think he can maybe get to the big leagues and help them out?
Probably about as fast as they want to take him. I mean, they bring him up there now if they want to, let him get some experience. But I think what they'll do is they'll wait till next year and see if he's healthy and has a good spring training. And, for Hagan too, I think that he would like to have a little time in the minors, being around the guys that are in the organization, kind of show people what he can do, and that, he's that guy. He's not going to go around telling everybody how good he is. He's going to show you, make it a little bit easier, go out and have good spring training and earn a spot. I think that'd be the route I would if I was their GM, but I'm not. But he's got big league stuff now.
I think they actually broke the Orioles record for consecutive losses. Then they beat the A's. Then they fired their manager. I guess they just wanted to let him get a win before they fired him. I don't know. Anyway, I know the Tigers swept them in Chicago, so we got to watch.
The Tigers did, of course. The Tigers, they're the best team in baseball.
Thanks.
Mason, last one here.
Yeah, Coach, you guys, I guess, gave Zach Root number 33. Does that signify anything or just random?
I'll just leave that up to your mind, whatever you want to think there. No, I've always had, for the most part, what have I had? A lot of left-handed pitchers have worn that. Nick Schmidt. Drew Smiley wear that number? Might have been another one in there. Might have been a couple more. So I'll let Bob dig into that. But yeah, it's left-handed pitcher's number in my eyes, and he's left-handed. And Landon had already requested number 35, and he got it. And then, talked to Zach about it, and he kind of knew that there'd been some guys wearing that were pretty good. So didn't want to throw that on him if he didn't want to handle that, and he was good with it.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Okay. See you guys.